In here, we're on live stream now, and we're just beginning the 19th Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And today we have a special guest translator, Dr. Zhu, and he'll be handling the translating. We have a couple of systems to show from the Chinese folks, and I think we're pretty much ready to go here. And you're ready at the other end there, Mr. Keshe, to see what's happening? Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Good morning, yep. Good afternoon.
It sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was just getting puzzled by this system which is running.
Yeah, let me show it better there.
This is, pardon?
There, I'm just showing the picture a little better, yes.
This actually looks like the man in his face when he loses all his stomach and everything else. So you'll be so thin. As I said, the Chinese team always inspire us and surprise us. And this is a beautiful thing to see. Would you like to start at least explaining to me where the brain is?
Let me start by just reading the English part here, which this is...
Do you want me to translate?
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, why don't you...
Hi.
Yes.
Hi, where are you?
So,
it's nice to see you. Okay. Do you want to translate?
Yeah, you should begin. That's right.
OK， 刚才瑞克说这是第19次中国网络教学，欢迎大家来。然后呢，就是问凯先生好，然后凯先生说就说大家好，然后呢就看到这个我们的这个图了，然后说我们总是从我们中国的这个教学里边能够学到新东西，说这个图很有意思，就像这个我们在太空里面见到人一样就像没有了这个好像是肉体，然后变得非常细，就是这个样子。Yes. Continue.
Okay, carry on.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Well, I could read the first part here, which is from Fan Ding. It's case 1, the body system. I have an idea to make a multifunctional system by imitating the structure of the body. The prototype, as shown below, is made of mixed GANs coated nano copper coils and GANs ball and waiting for the tests now. Shows prototype. Do you need to translate that, or is that obvious already?
Read it.
I think what you read is exactly the same as what was written on Chinese. I'm not sure whether the people below can see the Chinese or not.
They should be able to say it.
They should be able to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just have a look.
我们可以念一下的。念一下中文，念一下中文。
那我念一下啊。通过模仿人体结构，我们制造了一个多功能的人体系统。那么该体系由经过干丝涂层的纳米铜线圈和干丝球所组成。那么原型机的图如下。那么现在是准备测试。那么这边的问题就是他们想问一下凯史先生对这套体系是怎样的看法？接下有什么意见？Basically, the Chinese creator want to get the idea from Mr. Keshe about how this system can be used for. What his idea about this creation?
你等一会儿还没到那一步呢。还要再介绍一下这个结构原理。
Okay, so let me. Sorry, I'm a bit too quick. Sorry, let me explain a bit more about this system. So this you can see this is composed of the 11 parts. So like the it's indicated from 1 to 11. You can see the mixed GANs ball, the spring coil, the plasma capacitors, and the different size of the coils, and the spiritual coil. And you can see at the left side all are spin at like a left-handed, and at the right, the spin are spiraled in the right-handed. So at different position of the place, which is as a mirror to different organ to human body. So yeah, that's what we can see, because I'm not a creator, so that's what my understanding so far.
Okay. Let's go on to the.
Ask for your idea, your comments on this system.
Do you want to show pictures? Are there pictures? Here's some more pictures of it.
Would you like to see yourself like this?
Pardon?
I said, would you like to see yourself like this? You're a doctor.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm not a creator of this guy, so yeah, probably can show it to other audience, because they probably cannot see it.
Yeah, the thing is, on the top, it's got his emotional brain, and then it's got his physical brain, and it's got his thymus, and then he's got his heart, and then it's got two lungs on either side, and then I presume that's the two kidneys. It has no liver, it has no stomach, and it looks much like a man in a space.
Yeah，开始先生刚才讲就是说，这里面可以看到上面有个情绪的大脑，下面有两个物理的脑，然后旁边还有那个胸腺、心脏，但是没有肺，也没看到，下面还有肾脏，对吧？但是没有看到胃，没有肺在旁边，对，就是说这个东西只是一定程度上是就像在太空中的在一个人。OK。
Okay, the next picture, please.
That one seems to be just a blow up of the other, and then it shows underneath.
Kidneys. These are his kidneys.
This should be the hand.
No, that's his kidneys.
This is the hand.
He's got no hand. He does the movie with his own imagination.
他说这东西没有手，他就是靠自己的想象力在移动。
Yeah, he's definitely glued down.
Further down. Further down.
Oh, this is the lung. This is the lung.
No, it was, if you look up above.
On the top, the lungs are on the circles.
Yeah, the big.
The lungs are on the boxes, yeah. So we see that there, and there's the lungs on the box there.
Put it this way, who would like
Kidney.
to fall in love with this one? You can control your emotion, and it's got everything to do with it.
So this is the schematic. And let me see, I have to make it a bit smaller.
Next picture.
Nanocoated copper coils.
然后刚才的话呢，是这个朱先生就是用英文给讲了一下这个结构，就是说是有混合的干丝球，还有这个纳米铜线，就是还有这个电容和这个都是等离子体电容，还有另外的两个就是说好像也是线圈吧，铜的线圈。然后开始说，谁愿意跟这个人相爱，他说他会控制你的所有的情感。
If we divide the whole picture.
The next one. Oh, this one is talk about the 5 elements of the Earth human body: the wood, fire, earth, metal, and the water. It's like I don't know last time whether Dr. Song talked about those about in the Chinese medicine lecture.
Yeah, maybe we can ask our translator of the doctor. Something in the Chinese medicine, you got all the one and the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the stomach sit with the intestine? Is one opposite to the other, or you don't count it at all?
你要回答一下吗，主先生？
and I okay from the figures below at the page number 4, you can actually see the stomach. So actually you can see different part of the organ and just mirror about different substance, like heart is to the fire, the stomach to the earth, and liver to wood, and the bladder to water, and the large intestine to metal. So for Chinese traditional medicine, these 5 different substances form a interactive web. They either support each other or fight against each other. They need to form the harmony for everything go properly. So I think.
But where is the okay? You have a left kidney and a right kidney, yin and yang. But where does the stomach sit? Where is the yin and yang with the stomach?
Stomach is a
the intestine.
Oh,
stomach.
this one is a liver. This side with the stomach with the liver is the opposite, and another side is the bladder. Did you see the red arrows? The red arrows is the opposite. The green arrows are the like a companion.
Yeah, the green arrow means the supportive, which means the serve the helper. The orange one, the red one stands of the fighter or fight against with that opposite part.
So it's the opposite of the stomach is opposite of the liver and the bladder.
这里我们主要解释一下，这是传统这些五行关系里面这5个东西分别代表什么？红色的代表相克，那么绿色的代表相生。All right.
Did we answer your questions, Mr. Keshe?
No, I'm still trying to find out in traditional medicine, Chinese traditional medicine, what is the opposite side of the stomach, the balanced side.
Opposite. Okay.
The other side.
So the liver actually fight against the stomach from this figure, from this diagram.
So the opposite is the liver.
Okay. Now I understand. You got the left side of the liver and the right side of the liver.
Yeah, the opposite is the liver. And the other opposite is the bladder.
This side, that side. The
Yeah.
liver is in balanced position.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the stomach. Yeah.
You should be sitting in the teaching of the Chinese doctor. You don't sit, you don't learn.
So for the prospective results for this guy. Okay, so I think there's any translation. Okay, it's a function. We go below at the 4th page. So if it was estimated at the position of the fire, it can produce the heat, light, and electricity. And different matter was created at 5 different places. So which stands for the 5 Chinese elements. So it was further estimated you can see the flying emotion. Okay, sorry. Because it's the Chinese side English is different. Let me translate directly from Chinese. So if it was estimated, this guy might be able to fly, and this apparatus might interact with the people's emotion. Yeah, maybe there's interactive things happening between the human and this apparatus. 我刚才就把实验预期这4个东西用英语直接翻译了一下，我就没有管下面的英文，因为它翻译的东西不完全一样。
Do you understand it?
Yep.
So do you want to go? Okay, go next. Actually, Miss Cash.
等一下，我要给他们翻译成中文。还有这个刚才呢，开始问了一个问题，说那么他想知道这个胃的这个不是我们都是有阴阳嘛？那么胃相对应的是什么？然后我们说根据这个图来说呢，应该是肝和这个膀胱。因为他说是2个相克的，所以是相对的阴阳系统。然后刚才呢，朱教授呢给就说问了一下，开始这个就是说，这个设计者是樊丁啦，说预期的想会看到的结果，所以就指出了那个5个结果，大家可能在这个可以看到。OK, go ahead.
Hello.
Okay, so
Mr. Do you think will we like have 4 like four predictions? One of them. Okay, let me see. Yeah.
Question number 1 is yes, very little.
The fire will be created. In the position of the fire will have a heat, light, and electricity effects will be created. Is that
very little because it's electron vibration, so very little in the magnitude difference.
然后开始我问一下，就说这个第一个说是在火的位置会产生热光电，然后开始回答说可能只会产生一点点，因为这个还是磁场的这个强度。Mr. Carter, won't it created the plasma magnetic field strength there?
Doesn't produce any magnetic field strength because if you have a GaNs or you consider as a GaNs coating, electric current has very little input on it because it's a vibration of the plasma, not the total energy of the plasma. This is an input of electric current or field flow, which is not a capacitor, will create different magnetic environment. It's very little. Depends if you do electric current as a vibration or you do a plasmatic field flow. This field flow, if it is plasmatic, is a different thing. But if you're talking about electric vibration, electron vibration, electric current, is very little unless it adds up to a certain amount.
Okay, so can we use a little electric current to create the plasma environment here?
Really, no. Somebody's microphone is open. Because the vibration of electron in a plasmatic condition is very weak, extremely weak. Extremely weak.
Okay.
But if you do a plasmatic flow, as you do from the GaNs, yes, you can do.
Okay. 刚才我问一下凯史先生，我就说这个，因为这个凡丁就说有4个，就说就说预期的结果嘛。第一个就是说会产生光电热，那么我们开始说基本上不会产生，但是很小。那我说那能不能就是说这个产生一个等离子体的这个场呢？开始说如果你要用这个干丝，就说你要用这个来产生等离子体之后可能还可以，但是你这个用电来做这个的话，不产生这个 MAGRAPH 这个就是说磁引力场的这个流动的话，用电来激发是不可能的。你再翻译一下，朱涛。
大致是有这个意思。
你再补充一下。然后 OK， the second one is that if we
if you load the coil stacks 2 and 3, which are the kidneys, it might output energy and achieve lift. Oh, it all depends. I don't know. If you can fly with your kidneys, it'll be very efficient.
对，他对肾脏这边的一些组成的在功能，他表示不太肯定。他说你如果想凭着肾脏这边的能量来实现飞行，估计是办不到的。
It says number 3, field of different thing would be created at position of 2 spring coils, of course, because you've changed the environment in 2 and 3, which are big coils.
他认为第三个问题就是说，在这2个那个弹簧之间形成了不同的力量，是否会形成？他说当然会形成。
It says an input electric current or field flow to 2 plasma capacitors, 6 and 7, could change the strength field near the mixed GaN spore. Very little. Very, very little. But that's my opinion. Maybe you think different.
对，第4个问题，他是说在那个就是说在这个图1的这个6、7这2个地方的等离子体两端输入的这个电场和场流的变化，对吧？是否可以改变那个就是说这个混合干丝球周围的场墙？他说这个几乎不可能。
You see, you gotta understand, are you, as I say, are you ostrich, or are you, if you're a camel or a bird? You keep on going between the two, the current flow and electric current flow and a plasma. The plasma capacitors with the current flow of electron is very, very little. You can go from this to this, but this to this is very difficult. You add very little.
然后开始说，你可以做一个这个，就说做这个鸵鸟，或者是一个呢，这个，就是说是一个鸟。然后说呢，这个从电来产生这个等离子体的这个效果是非常非常小的，几乎是就是说，就是太小了。意思是说不能用这个电来产生这个等离子体。
It says, question 1, Mr. Keshe, what do you think of the body system? Would you please give suggestion? Very nice, extremely inspiring, but what would you like it to do?
先生的话就是说，看上去很漂亮，而且令人受启发，但问题是，到底能够做什么事情呢？值得很难说。
Could you go down, Rick?
Rick, can you go up, please?
Yeah, go up.
Like a punch a pen.
I want to explain it. This one is says acupuncture pen or needles. Actually, it's not. They are not for acupuncture. They are just for the use the medical pens with Renan did. So he just gave the some not really using acupuncture.
It's a needle, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
just
for
want,
going in.
yeah, I just want to clear this one because otherwise people will think we will use the needles to punch in or something. It
Yes.
just
Can we
okay.
read
So
the
those,
rest?
yeah, just read it. Okay, where is it? Maybe you can read it, Rick.
But there are 9 different structured acupuncture needles in the traditional Chinese medicine. One can't show below, so that must be above. I think it is similar to what Mr. Kes talked about, pain pen, consists of clockwise, anti-clockwise, nanocopper-wise. So I made 2 acupuncture pens, one clockwise and one anti-clockwise, and then nano-coated them. Can you go up, please? Up, up, up. Okay, go up. If there is a couple of very nice pictures on the internet. People have started taking pictures of these nano-coated pins or pens, and you see a field interaction around them. You can do it with a normal camera. You create a field condition around these systems, and so you interact with the body. Does not matter what you do. If it's a left hand or a right hand, is more or less the same. This is what I keep on going back on, and I've tried to explain in the other teaching. Can you go, can we go back? I'll go down and I'll come back again.
刚才开始先生讲，就是说，现在网络上已经有一些人做一些类似的东西，那么他们用于治疗，那么无论是从左旋转还是右旋转，也可能指的就是逆时针或顺时针旋转，差别都不太大。OK。
You see, the field flow is all the same. When the field is here, this is a problem a lot of you have. The field strength either way would interact. When you have a single coil, this is what it does. When you add a second coil, then you consider if it is going in as gravitational or magnetic or giving. This left hand and right hand, it does not make any difference because it's not the matter, it's the field which is makes the difference. How you take it out, how it's connected, because your pen is so small that the overall structure of the environment is irrelevant. It's just in respect to where it is touches. Have a nice time.
开始先生认为就是说，像在一个场是磁引力场，它本身因为它的场的作用力很小，是通过场来起作用。那这时候无论你是左旋进来还是右旋进来，那么对它的效果都不会有任何的差别。All right.
OK，
没有，刚才还说了一下啊。Let me continue。开始说，如果你要是在这个线圈里边，你再放一个线圈，那么呢，就会两个相互作用的话，就会说，是引力场还是磁力场，那么是排斥还是就说吸引，这样会有一些作用。但就这么一个的话是，应该不会受周围环境影响的。它就说跟你的左旋右旋没关系，你的身体会跟这个场直接相互作用。
shall we go on to the
There's
next?
no more difference. We just already answered this one.
Right. Okay, so shall we go on to the next case, case 3?
Yes, please.
The MagRav power unit. Says I have finished my MagRav power unit that's able to carry an 800 watt resistance heater now. I also used it to charge a battery and supply power for the Fat Boy reactor. Some pictures.
This is from Carly, I presume.
No, from still from finding. They also have yeah.
Yeah, I hear you have a sponsored couple of them, Lisa. Am I correct?
Not really. The one you are giving me, I told the bride to send to Carly. and then to him, not give it to him. I'm going to save it, but I will let him to use it first.
No, what I thought you were sponsored a couple of, or you'd be responsible for a couple of people making these fat boys.
No? What do you mean?
Somebody told me you have a sponsored couple of fat boys to be made. No?
No, Curly made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, carry on. Let's see what is done.
Okay, that's it for this part. Then it goes on to case 4, the MagRav car unit. Says I used one group of GaNs coated nano copper coils to build the MagRav car unit. Under test, it is connected in parallel with the 6.25 volt battery, and at the same time the battery is used to power a motor. I believe that when the system runs for a long time, the plasma will be created in the center of the white box, and then it shall never stop to supply the running of the battery as well as the motor. The system might run perpetually.
I don't know.
Okay, so
我翻译
here's
一下吧。
another.
来 ，let me translate。
Sure.
这个有一个这个是刚才开始说说这个是不是Curly 的？我说这好像不是 Curly 的，好像是另外一个人的，还是樊丁的。然后呢，他说听说我好像是不是赞助了2个什么知道 Facebook？ 我说没有啊，不知道。然后后来我说我把你要给我那个给Curly了。然后呢，现在是说讨论第4个这个就是说试验的是说他做了一个汽车单元，然后就是这个图的这个样子然后开始说不知道会不会起作用。Okay, next one.
Okay. You can see that's a close-up of the car system there. See the GaNs coated coils with the GaNs in the middle. And now we're on to case 5, evidence that normal copper wires will be nano-coated. I provided a little electric voltage and current to accelerate the speed of producing copper oxide GaNs. Then I found that a piece of copper wire which is placed to the connected nano-copper plate with the power supply was nano-coated after 7 days running. And he shows a picture of the nano-coated wire and where the wire was placed. Okay, that's a different one. So he's pointing out that the wire essentially nano-coated itself with a little bit of electric current to produce the copper oxide GaNs. Do you want to translate some of that, Lisa, or Dr. Zhu?
OK，他这边就是说指出了，就是用它这个体系，加上了电压和电流，然后发现经过7天作用之后，它这个线的跟铜板连接这一段铜线也被延伸的就涂上了纳米的这种涂层。那么，对 ，all right。Yeah.
Let's carry on to the next one, I guess. There's no questions there or comments. Okay, we have from Zai. Is that how you pronounce that? Says, I mixed together different GANs, brown sugar, and sodium hydroxide. And then I found a membrane or skin appeared on the surface. What is it? That's his question. And there's a second question. The zinc plate put inside the mixed GANs turned black now. Is that a nano coating?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it's a definite yes to the second
然后
question.
刚才的问题是说混合干丝，然后加上糖和烧碱，然后加水在上面会形成一层皮，然后问开始这个这层皮是什么？开始没回答呀，一会儿再问一下吧。然后第二个问题是说，把芯板和就是说放在这个混合干丝里边，然后就变黑了，然后问这个是纳米涂层了吗？开始说是的。Mr. Keshe, first question. He was asking you, what do you think the membrane appeared on the surface?
When you create the gases, especially of different material, you still create a condition to absorb what they call amino acid to the surface of the liquid. It's like having different metals in that position, or but in the plasmatic condition, and you still produce that protein, and the rest of it is what is absorbed into that protein. It's exactly the same fat layer we see when you produce the GaNs material.
他说在混合干丝这种情况下，那么它依然可以生成不同的物质，比如说像氨基酸甚至蛋白质。那么这种情况下也确实就在我们所看到在其他体系里面，那么混合干丝也的确会出现这样一个，就是说带有氨基酸或者蛋白质这样一种情况。
开始用了个吸收周围。
它可以吸收周围环境中的这样的一些就说这些物质，包括氨基酸、蛋白质。
对。Okay, so next.
There we go. Okay. Got question 3. Something black appeared on the CH3 kit. Would you please give some explanation about it?
I don't know what you put on it. Depends what environment you keep. A lot of people send these things to us, especially a guy called Armin. You don't know what he did with it. What happened with your black bits, your new animals in your box, Armin? It's still there.
Good.
Do they have a long? Do they have legs? Do they fly? Yeah, I know. You showed us last time. When you create these conditions, you don't work in super hygienic places. So anything can be flying. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen your animals.
开始先生说，在一个 CH3 的这个形成过程中，那么这里出现一些黑色的东西，那么他自己也不完全清楚是什么东西，因为这取决于这个体系是放在这个环境中，比如说他碰上过这样的情况，就是说如果整个体系放在一个不是很洁净的空间里面，不是 不是符合很高空气洁净度的空间里面，那么有些东西就可以飞进去。那么这里可以是细菌，也可以是一些会飞的东西，都有可能。
Okay, moving on to the next question. When I input electricity to produce GANs, if I use boiled water, the GANs is earth yellow. And if I use unboiled water, the GANs is green. Is there any difference between the two kinds of GANs?
Mr. Cash?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
This one I want to have a explanation about it because many people in China now trying to electricity to they induce the electricity to try to produce gas.
Yes.
Sometimes they need to have the like a current or voltage control to produce gas. Sometimes I think they are not gas, maybe nanoparticles. So if they add the
Current use.
voltage or current too big, so I'm not sure this is the case.
You see, when you produce in a salt condition and you do not create a acidic condition, inevitably you will lead to creation of gas. To produce gas means you create an environment that the plasma can survive independently. And all of you produce gas, doesn't matter what you do, as long as you don't work, is the environment. Acidic environment creates a current flow in a different way in the structure, where salt environment on the atmospheric condition of the earth creates creation of gas. That's all the difference is if you have an acid. And then when you add a current or different temperature, you change the condition. There is a boiling water, and then there is cold water. You create if you produce gas in a slightly different condition, you produce a slightly different environment. So you have created with the boiling water a condition to create a faster, what do you call it, change than when you do it with a cold. In the factory now we don't have a problem. We had a problem, and for example, the problem is that when we get the coils in the factory, they use oil in extrusion of the wires when they want to produce wires very fast. To get this, they put oil on it, continuously oil added to get it smooth running. So when we start getting the first coils, they were all oil on them. And this, when we try to produce the gas, it created or nanocoat the coils, it created the unknown condition for us. So what the coil looks different, it's slightly different nanocoating. So what we've done now in the factory is, one of the guys in the factory thought, okay, this is a caustic after we can't use it anymore, cold caustic. Now what they do, they divert the cold caustic into a pool, and all the coils which come in from the factory with the oil on, they go into the caustic, they get de-oiled. And we find out when we put them through production, they create a much faster nanomaterial. We lose the oil in the caustic, cold caustic, before we throw it out, but it somehow prepares the plates and the wires to be coated much faster. It's given us using what was a problem as a solution for our production. So we used to produce a slower coating. Now we get a faster coating by just pre-washing the copper in the caustic to get rid of the fat or the oil they put on it. And if we change the armor container, if you go to over 2.5 volts or whatever, you get a black caustic, black gas. Correct. 4 volts plus. Armand taught me this. He showed me how he does it. And if you do it slower, you get it brown. And if you go very, very slow, just a normal, it will be blue, greenish color. Is the process of the speed of the change. So you use the boiling water, you create a different environment, and you reach faster dissolving of the plasma on this structure. Do you want to translate?
那么我先简单说几句，因为很多细节，因为我了解有限。那么就是说，这里面它总的来讲强调的是，在做干丝的时候，那么每一个就相关的一些参数都是很重要的。打个比方，你这里面是酸性还是碱性，然后你用的包括你的水是这个这种烧过的水还是普通水，对吧？你的通电量的大和小，你制作干丝速度快与慢。这个各个不同的环节都有可能对你最后干丝的产量和产物造成影响，所以在他看来，就说用这两种不同的水得到不同的东西，那么是可想而知的，是完全可以理解的。
Can I mention, sorry, Lisa, we're trying to keep to 1 hour limit to every session, from 2 to 3. Started that late, so we go a few minutes.
Okay.
So trying to keep that time limit.
Sure. Mr. Keshe, I got one question for you. So actually, I was quite enlightened with your discovery that the nanocoating actually created a superconductivity. So this is very critical evidence. If we can convince the contemporary scientists this is true, they'll get very excited. So I would ask for your idea how I can prove this superconductivity to them. What are the best approach to prove this superconductivity?
One of the best ways to do it is to try to get rid of the copper.
Get away of copper.
Yeah, inside the tube. When you nanocoat a tube like a wire, try to get rid of the wire, the tube, and then try to send communication or information down the center of tube. I explained to you what this is. It's a very tricky. I've been trying it for a long time. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes it's just you hit the wall. Can you give me my screen back? Okay. Let me explain what it means. I explain how you prove the superconductivity. Pardon? Okay. This is your copper wire. We open it in a very big way. Yeah? Then this is your nano coating. This is your nano coating outside it. What you gotta do, don't forget, your nano coating is not painted on. It's gravitational magnetic fieldly connected the field is connected with the elements below it. So if you melt it to take it out, as this goes, your nanomaterial disappears. If you seal this and heat it up, you still have a liquid. So because the field connection is there still, you still doesn't matter where it is you have it. What you can do to show superconductivity, there are two ways. What you can do is you can drill to this limit, literally next to the edge. Don't forget, if you look at the inside, it's like this. So now, if you can make fine enough that you can hold on to this wall, you can see what a connection is. You have enough, but hollow inside. Then what you're going to get is a superconductive behavior here.
Okay.
But let me explain further. But if you can increase the thickness to a limit, your nanolayer here, in this boundary here, that it looks black here, but you have a thickness enough, you put a plasma here, any information as plasma, you see you get the same thing out as the information here. If you put at the same time the same information here, you will get a delay time and a loss here. You can test on 2 layers because nano layers nowadays can be interfered with. There is enough knowledge. Then you can show the superconductivity. You can put information within the layers. It is the only way you can do it because it's not that you can just scrape it off. If you scrape it off, you lost the structure. You're still in nanobody in the powder. It's the only way you can show one of the ways superconductivity is this way.
开始先生刚才讲就说，说
between the American and the Russians.
So, okay, may I translate? So, 刚才凯史先生讲的是说，如果就是我的问题就是说，如果想让当代的科学家去信服，就是说在这个纳米涂层形成过程中，在外周确实形成了这个超导这个现象，那么我们如何去证实这一点？那么凯史先生画了这个图，我们可以看到，就是说在这个这个铜线的表面的都形成了这个纳米涂层，那么这个超导实际上是发生在这纳米涂层这一边。而纳米涂层这里形成的磁引力场又是和它所依附的这个铜线是相互作用的，而且这种相互作用对它维持它这样一个结构和功能，就是超导的功能也是所必须的。在这种情况下怎么办呢？这么我们可以想办法把中间的这样一个铜板或者铜线把它给挖掉，那么只剩下薄薄一层铜，同时也没有破坏掉外面的这个纳米涂层，那么这时候的话，我们就将有可能来检测这样一个超导现象。但是因为你不能说把这些纳米涂层刮下来，你就可以去看那个超导，那是不行的，因为一旦刮下来的话，它脱离了这个环境，它就没有超导存在。那么他的建议就是说，我们尽可能的把这外面的这样的纳米涂层做得更厚一点点，那么它足够厚，对吧？那么这样的话，我们就可以在这个比较厚的这个涂层这边，那么加入在一个信号，那么看这个信号从这边进去，从这边出来。那么因为它是超导的，那么这种超导的过程中，那么它应该信号是没有损失的。那么作为对照，如果你在上面这个地方，就是说那个在那个铜线这个地方，如果加入信号的话，因为它不是超导的，那么它信号肯定是有所衰减的。那么你比较一下这两者的差别，你就大概知道，就是说这外面这涂层已经形成超导这样一个现象。好了 ，All right, thank you.
You're welcome. If you scrape these off as a nanoparticles, as a dust, you cannot check for superconductivity. The only way you find superconductivity is when you can create a tube that it can transfer energy, information through in a plasmatic condition. This is what I'm trying to encourage your, Carl Lee, to load up his reactor. If Carl Lee understands how to load up plasmatic energy through this layer and not the wires, he will achieve a lot of loading of energy into the system.
刚才开始
what you're going to do, in a way, if you think of it, the only way you can do it, like in a fat boy, this is a thing to Carl Lee because I know he's busy with it. You need to get like the center shaft of your motor, which you're putting in, and if I can do it this way, You got to find a way to do it this way. And if this is your coil in nano-coated, you enter through the center shaft a nano-coated pipe, which is totally sealed. This is the only way you can do it. And you inject your plasma, which you're making from the plasma unit, through this nanolayer into your reactor. You can't do it with a normal wire, impossibilities. It's just, if you remember with the gas reactors, we used to put a pipe in to feed the gas in. You have to do the same thing, but in a way to do it through the nano layer of the coating inside each core. And then when you connect it to your power supply, which continuously creates a GANs, what you got to do, you have to create a drain on your reactor wall that the flow of the energy stays and builds up. You need to create a flow inside on the wall of your cores, that the flow forces drainage of plasma in a high volume, and then you can control the drainage. If you can control this drainage, then you control the feed. If you want a high plasma, you got to understand a huge plasma comes and then has to convert. This is what Eric Clapson uses in the battery his devices. He's understood this concept very clearly. In this magical plasma system, which is a small battery operating, is the transfer of the energy through, not the matter state, but the transfer of energy through the matter state. So in the case of the what do you call it, fat boy, you have to transfer the energy not through the wire. It looks as you have a wire. In fact, no energy transfer there. The energy is transferred along the nanomaterial. Superconductivity, and it's so effective to do it. Do you remember we set it up the first time in the Sensano on the floor? That's what the transfer goes through the coating, not through the wire, even though you use the wire to assemble it there. And then the other way you can do it, literally, is you can use a hollow tube. If you use a hollow tube, which is nano-coated as well, then you get the full transfer power from the power unit. It's very easy to do, extremely. The only problem is being able to nano-coat the tube inside. It should be very, very fine. There's no problem. It's very good like Russians. I know. That's what you're supposed to.
刚才 OK， 刚才凯史先生进一步在刚才那个问题上进行延伸。那么这里实际上一个刚才讲的关键点就是说你需要形成个中间一个中空的这样一个管子，然后依赖于两边的涂层，然后传递这个超导的信号。那么就这样一个东西，他也多次和卡利讲，就说要让他把这个体系也用到他的这个 Fat Boy 在一个体系里面去。
哦，这个不是用中空管子，就是用纳米涂层的。
这就是
后来才说
后来对的
可以那个中空的也更好，就是说完全能传递。
是的是。
就纳米涂层。
也就是说，它如果能有纤细的这种管子，
没有，它中间是说要放一个就是说放一个中间的中心的管子。
中心管。
对，就是反应器要有个中心管，然后跟外边它要用它的这个我翻译吧，他说要用你的这个，就是我们现在这个能量单元会往里能够输送这个等离子体的能量，那么通过这个纳米涂层呢，就说输送进去，同时呢，说你这个里边呢，就是要就说你的这个 fastball 这是要纳米涂层的，而且呢，在外表面呢，你要有一个就是说 drainage， 它就说等于是排泄点。 这样的话呢，他说你可以通过控制你的这个排泄的话呢，就说这边往下漏多少，然后可以控制这个里边的这个强度。来这样来达到提升。他开始说这个提升应该是很容易达到的。他说让我们就说问我们就说想不想当时在就是另外一个意大利另外什么Santano 什么那个地方，说我们当时做气体反应器的时候，我们用这个纳米铜线来疏导这个等离子体，就说这个是一样的，说你必须要用。就说这个纳米也就是说这个等离子体的这个传导，然后用我们这个能量装置来往里输送这个等离子体的能量。然后呢，开始说，最后开始又补充了一下，说你也可以用这种就是中空的纳米管，那样的话呢，你就可以用整个管来传输整个的等离子体能量，就会更有效一些。OK， 还有什么补充吗？
If you look at this structure, it's very much is exactly copy. I was just holding a bone in my hand. It's exactly the same structure as your bone. The blood creates a gravitational magnetic field around the outside the bone. Then it sucks what it needs from it, and the bone structure allows what to come through to become bone marrow, to release energy as it becomes compact and it stays here, it gets expanded to the strength you need. The only difference is, instead of lymph lead feeding the bone marrow, now you have a system. What are you going to do in your system where you brought, I try to encourage Carly to do this because I know he can do it, but it doesn't see himself. This is the system. You have the second unit. You, here at the grid, you connected wires to it, a normal wire. Oops, leave it backwards. There it is. Here, you connected wires to it. But on this end, now you connect the wire to get the energy out, to show energy. Here, you don't connect a wire. You connect another nano wire, which in fact, if you look at this here, you convert the flow here in the electric current wise. You don't use, from this point on, when you enter the box, you don't touch any more matter. You create, you encourage the creation of the plasma, you feed it in your core, and all you need to do is there we are. I'm learning. Don't panic. So what happened is exactly like undo is not undoing anything. Okay, here we go. Redo. Okay, doesn't matter. Where have we gone? Next page, there we are. So if you look at it, once you feed this here, now here your matter state. This your wire comes in here. That's your copper wire feeding from the grid. From here on, you enter nano coating. Yeah? See what happens. You feed plasma. This is what I told you. In time, as you learn, I teach you, especially with the Chinese. If Kali understands this, he can feed it. So you do exactly like a bone. If you create a current flow here, which is could be even matter state current flow. Like you put a heater against or a connection to the wall, you decide how much you're going to drain in to block in. You achieve flight. There is no way that fat boy can fail. Yeah. No, it's irrelevant. You can do that, as I said, the Russian jump. You know the story of 1960s between Russian and China and the Americans? Americans sent a matchbox to the Russians. And the Americans were sure that the Russians cannot do anything. They checked, there was an empty box in Russia. And then the American asked the Russians, have you done anything with the box, like with the matchbox? The Russians sent the box back to the Americans, and the Americans said, oh, they never saw anything in it. And the American asked the Russians, did you see anything in the box? And the Russians sent the message, have you seen the hole in the wire we sent you back? The Americans developed the finest wire you could ever do, and they thought they achieved the ultimate technology. And the Russians were so advanced, they said, look, in the wire, we already created a hole for you. It's a very old trick they play. So the size doesn't matter. It's a transfer of the superconductor. It carries any amount of plasma. Everything has to be in the matter, in the nano-coated plasmatic condition. You can go through the center pin. In the Euclidean rotation. You go through the center pin. It's the transfer of the plasma energy. All you need to know, the thing is, I always say, you lot have become too physical. If you look, it's here. You brought it today. That's a bone. You brought it today. That's the bone, and that's the top of the head. Then you look, you got your fat boy there. The transfer of energy is bone marrow in the nano state. You just plug it in. But to plug it in, you have to create a demand to drain it. This is how you fly. This is the only way you can fly instantaneously in space. This is how you instantaneously create a field, reduce it. By draining it or let it blow inside itself. There is no way, if Carl Lee understands what he's doing, unless I go to China and just sit there and fly it for him, he should be able to do it. But you don't look at create a current flow, you don't plug, what do you call it? You don't plug a plug in here. You follow the same nanomaterial from inside the box as it comes out from the tray directly on the exit point. You take it directly here before the bottom stack comes through the current to create the oscillation. When you come out, it's in a plasmatic condition. You don't connect it to another wire. You carry on with it as a nano-coated material into the system. But now you create a drainage outside the core that the flow forces filled out. And then if you can control this drainage, you control the plasma flow. Because the plasma is much stronger, but it's still trying to follow the current. In a way, you put your plug here. But you can do it plasmatically. You can use the 3 reactors to become each other's plug. With a slight difference, this is how your amino acid works. Your amino acid works through the potential difference in gravitational magnetic field gradient. So what do? You don't put a drainage, you feed the same thing to all your 4 reactors, but you control which one is feeding it slightly more or less. You can control it by the amount of the gas you put. You want to try?
是 OK。 开始现在说讲的，就说他又讲到这个fat boy，然后说呢，这个东西呢，实际上你看起来呀，实际跟我们的骨骼是一样的结构。他说，这个里边呢，这个流动的这等离子体呢是骨髓，然后呢这是骨骼，然后你外边是血液。当你血液需要什么的东西的时候呢，你这个骨头就往外就给释放不同的这个能量，然后来供给这个血液。然后这里边唯一的就是说产生的这个就说骨髓的这个东西的这个能量供给不是由我们的淋巴来给的，是由我们的这个就是等于这个能量单元直接供给。然后又讲到呢说，卡利要是懂这个的话，应该就马上就应该就能飞的。他说，要不然我去中国去跟他一起飞。他说开了一句玩笑，然后说呢，关键是说你要把这个东西呢，就说供给一个能量系统，然后外面呢要有一个排泄系统，然后你根据这个就是往出排的多少，那么来迫使这里边呢，就说你供给多，这样呢强度就可以能上去。这样说，你想不飞升都不可能，要不然在里边爆炸了说。然后后来又讲到这个说苏联的这个东西呢，他们其实是一样的，也是可以飞的。最后又说到，说我们的这个，就说是细胞是什么系统啊？他说是通过这个差值来，你解释一下吧，朱涛，说是来实现的这个能量这个流动的。
哪一部分我刚才没怎么听清楚什么细胞。
他说是一个蛋白质的工作还是细胞的工作？他说也是通过这个差值的流动来，然后来形成这个工作的这个原理。他的意思就是说跟这个是一样的，都是这种。然后他后来他又解释说，他说你这个反应器，我们的这个能量单元呢，输入的时候这块是到电流，他说只要一进入盒子，我们跟我们面对的整个都是等离子体。那么这个出来的话呢，实际上你引导过去给它这个供给的时候呢，实际上是供给这个等离子体传输过去的。然后呢，他就说在外部这块，因为这是外部，这是排泄系统嘛，这个就等于是排放系统。这个排放呢，你可以把这个能量你就往出吸嘛，往出排，往出吸走。然后这个呢还可以回来直接供供电，或者你的3个马达或者什么的，就是说可以然后根据多少可以供给，这样造成不同的这个场强。最后还说了个这个OK。
Okay, let me explain to you something. You stay online, you don't go off, Lisa. The translation carries on into the health side, but we carry on with the same topic. Now we are here. Because it's important for the, what do you call it, the Chinese people, engineers, or scientists working in the background like Carly and others to understand what I'm going to say.
Should we put this on the Chinese or move to the health workshop on the live stream right now?
Okay, if you want to do it, do both at the same time.
We keep everybody on the workshop here, but we just switch over to the health workshop on the live stream. We can do that quickly.
No problem.
Okay, let's do that then.
OK，刚才开始说想要2个同时进行，他说让我们在线上，这样可以翻译。需要说，他说如果 Curly 在后台可能听见会对，而且对我们中国很有用。
Maybe we should just stay here, Mr. Keshe, and let it complete on this channel then. Maybe that would be better for continuity. Maybe better to keep it on the Chinese workshop here for continuity, perhaps, and just delay.
And then put a copy on the health as well.
Okay, sure, we can do that.
So we continue, just put the same copy on 2 channels.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go back to something which is absolutely vital. If you understood this maybe changes the direction of course of the teaching. If you understand what I'm about to teach. Arman, shut down. Listen, it's important in what you do. Always say, when you come to the point, we teach you further. This is very important. If you understood what I just explained, and going back to the private teachings this morning, if you understood how Brad explained to us that the guy created gold out of the environment of what they created. Now understand something very important. If you take the power unit and now instead of the wire, now we work only in the plasma condition and take a plasma line, a nano-coated line instead of a wire out. Now put 4 systems, 4 power units, or connect the power units in 4 ways from the same coil, or 6. See what you're going to achieve. You have the power unit. Let's see if I can get it here. You have your power unit. You feed a nano material coated with different strength. And you can control the environment which you feed these into, and you can control what you can drain as, where did I go? Oh, it's there. Now you can understand, without going into the matter conditioned plasma, into the matter state to charge a battery or run a motor, you can create an environment here plasmatically that you can produce any material you need. Then you have to put this plasma, if you want it to be in a salt condition, make that salt condition of anything. You can create gold, you can create diamond, you can create protein in the gravitational magnetic field in this environment. If you understood, this is the key to production of material, food, medicine in space. You understand? You are very near to it. Carl he understands if he does. Now that's when we say you produce a second system, a third system. You create of the first generation through a nano coating material into an environment where you can convert the fields to any field strength you want. How you drain in respect to what is the game. You can put a plate here and drain different. You can put a field, another reactor here, another reactor here, where the combination produce as much meat as you need in a space by straightforward. That's how you're going to feed the humanity. No more cows in the cages. This is how you convert plasma. You use the electricity point. Now that we're producing the plasma energy units, we don't connect to the grid. This is your power supply as a generator. You convert it into the matter state plasma. You can convert to anything else. You've seen the guy produce gold this morning. You have to remember how you position these, how you place them. Always, I keep on saying, remember the copper created and the nano coating created condition of carbon. Field strength. Now, if you control this, you can connect this to this wall. You connect this to this wall, this to this wall, this to that wall, and that one to this wall. You create a box, each one creating, releasing, controlling plasmatic strength of one thing.
好，我试着翻译。啊，你先讲。
You want to translate?
Lisa, go ahead.
Let me explain to you, Doctor. Translating into Chinese in the essence of what you understand and not what I explained, because it's important. You Chinese totally work different than us.
Lisa 要不要你讲，还是我讲？
你翻译吧。
这样的刚才讲就是从那个能量单位里面，如果就说你可以引出，比如说这是4条不同的代表不同场强的这样一种能量，然后引入到左边在一个盒子中，那这里面的话，它们分别可以对应于就说对应于物质创造的不同的的这一个条件，那么产生的4种不同的物质，比如说这里面可以有不同的元素，比如说刚才讲的这个，比如说这个氮啊、氧啊、碳啊这些东西，那么都可以在这里面产生。那么这样一个过程的话，它这里面又有它自己的这样一个环境，这红色我没记清楚是什么东西，就是说它这里面有它的等离子场的这样一个环境。那么进一步的
我说吧，是这样子的，他说我们就说有4个东西从这个能量单元出来，那么我们直接引出的是等离子体的场，就说有等离子体场。那么它这是说一开始它是说4个反应器了，一个反应单4个反应器，那么就可以在这个空间里边形成各种不同的物质。他说我们可以调节这4个场来最后呢就可以制造不同的元素比如说我们上午的讲课说一个人可以制造黄金那么就像是我们当时这个二氧化碳盒子似的，那么你这边是铜，这边是纳米铜，那边是那个锌，就可以产生二氧化碳干丝一样。他说你也可以把这4个呢，就是说你放在4面，那么就像一个容器一样，那么你就在这容器里边呢，也可以通过这几个场的不同的组合，你可以制造出各种不同的物质然后这样呢，你也可以制造食物所有的这些一切羊啊牛啊来吃它们就这么多。OK.
Okay. Lisa, please ask the Chinese group to listen to the workshop on Thursday morning. It's important. It's for the Keshe Foundation manufacturers in China.
OK. 开始刚才说Lisa 你跟中国的这个听众讲一下我们星期4的教学非常重要，这个涉及到我们生产，还有在中国的生产，希望大家都能够参加。
So now you see the next step in development of the technology. This is a huge change. This is a change of the course if you understood. Up to now, you came to create a plasma. Now you have managed to create a plasma. Why do you want to go and run a heater to do something, to cook meat or whatever? For the first time, if you understood, let the matter state go. We go into the plasma state. You already created the plasma. You want to measure it, you don't need to measure it because all you need to do with it now from now on is to create the plasma once it's done, to manipulate the plasma to create what you need from the plasma. You don't need to go into the matter state. You don't need to eat an egg. You can create the gravitational magnetic field of the egg in a strength using the conversion of the plasma you have. Then you have everything you need. It's the same with medicine. You don't need to go into the conversion into a medicine. You create gravitational magnetic field of what it needs to change inside the body of the man to start the whole process. So the next step in the whole technology is we do not interfere, we do not interact with matter state. We go totally into the plasma, conversion of the plasma to what you need at the time you need.
开始先生刚才讲就是说，那么现在在一个等离子体科技完全不同于以往的以物质及其能量为基础的这个科技，那么它对事物的这种产生和改变都主要是在等离子体这个能量的基础上和场的基础上来产生的。比如说对于在医疗中，那么在以往我们也许要通过生产药物来或者这些东西来对病人进行干预，那现在完全不需要了，你只需要把它在能量的基础上，在等离子场的基础上，把它一些错误的方面纠正过来，直接在这个水平就把它纠正过来了。OK。
还说一下，说这个可能直接就是说，下一步我们要做的可能直接就改变我们下面的这个方向和进程了。就说我们前一段时间呢，一直在用这个电呀、加热呀、能源呀什么的，那么我们现在已经制造出等离子体，我们就可以直接利用等离子体，就是说也不用再返回到物质来进入物质。然后后面就是说，比如说医药啊，还有食物的所有的应用，可以直接就是说，提供人体所需。
So from now on, if you work in Chinese research in development of the plasma, you got to learn that now that we made the plasma, why do we need to convert it into matter again energy? Ideally, this white wire should be nano-coated wire, and this plug should not be there. You make a plug for plasma transfer. This is the evolution in the teaching. If you understand it, in the next few days, a lot of you should be able to show us gold, copper, zinc, aspirin, orange, whatever you feel. And the way to do it, we've seen with Alex and the others of you, where you put the orange and you had the taste of orange. Now you got the plasmatic magnetic field of the orange in your hand. Place it here, and you see how much you can create orange. And if you want to change in the state of matter, add what we taught this morning with the filter crystal. It's very simple. From now on, try to do with matter state. Take the wire out in nano layer and use the plasma condition and encourage it exactly like a bone. On the top of the bone, there is no motor. The gravitational magnetic field of the different red blood cells dictates what comes out of these holes. Have you ever seen a bone bleeding? Because everything is transfer of energy across. This is how it's done. So now we open the door. As I said to you this morning in the private teaching, after 2 weeks' time, in the next term, we don't speak. I open a totally new world of science. And now you see the beginning of it. Now we came from the GANs into plasma. Now we learn how to use the plasma as a plasma if you need to come and make new materials from it. Because now, I told you all the time, you bring the point up, you get the point of maturity, I add to it. Till you don't understand it, I don't do it. In the private teaching this morning, you saw how the guy has managed to make gold. You understood it? Now, instead of waiting to make a GANs, you have a plasma, you create the condition. Now you're in control. You can make anything you like in a plasmatic condition, be it from wood to gold to aspirin to anything you need to do. You can connect yourself, I told you this before, to one end, and you don't need to eat food anymore the rest of your life. Teach you step by step. But now we got to that point that we have to go to the next step. The next units which come as part of the blue structure, you will see the same. We don't connect with wires. We connect through plasmatic fields. The 2 units sitting here, I've been trying, it came in for power supply, but you see what you do, you change the field, you see the drainage. You keep the distance or you bring them close to each other, the field interact. What you put in here is important. So now you go up and down by just changing, moving, how much one field absorbs to the other one. This is a zero-time communication, non-transfer energy. So what do we do? How you can do it is when all of you build the reactors and you've been waiting, trying to see if it goes negative, you still can do it. But in fact, if I was you, I throw this piece of wire out, use a nanomaterial, understanding of the teachings from the beginning, go to the GaNs, go to the nanocopper coated. All you do, you change the nano-coated material here by energy as you like. You can produce within the next few days, any of you who already made a unit, power unit, and you're trying to see the reversibility of the energy, start producing food free of charge. As much energy as you want to produce, because now your body is in a GaN state, the system releases only plasma. You can 4, you can do 10. The most important thing is what field you can create within the containment you want. You can walk in there and stand yourself and feed yourself and walk off. I'm going for lunch, darling, for 1 second in. Done. You can do. Depends, by using different nanomaterial, you don't need to control it. Because copper gives a different field here. If you use from here to here, this one you use copper, gives you 1, aluminum gives you different strength, zinc wire gives you different strength, iron wire gives you different strength. So if you have that, and you can create a new food, doesn't matter. Why do you have a plate in mind? You can do it with just beam hanging, because now, you see, you're still in the matter state. You still have to understand, at the end of this thing is this thing. Is the gravitational magnetic field gapping of the nano layers, which dictates for how much field is released. The field for the copper is different distancing than aluminum. Do not put a plate, then you have to nano coat the plate, then you have to convert the plasma to a thing, and then you have to go and sit on a plate to get what you need. This is what I said a couple of weeks ago to you. If you understand in time, I teach you how you just come in and hold on to here, you get all the to do. Because you're still looking for a wire. You're still in a matter. If you understood, you could change this one to a nano-coated wire. There we are. Nano-coated copper wire transfers different amount of energy. Lead, different amount of energy. What is the composition of the elements of the human body? You can do it. Even if you can make a composition of liquid of water, you have everything you need through it. You just need to jump in the water, you absorb everything you need. Now you understand. You want to translate?
Very long.
Oh, sorry about that, Lisa.
That's okay. 刚才那个主要的开始的意思就是说，你如果在我们的能量单元盒子里边输出，你不需要这个，你不需要再转换成物质，就是说再造这个，再怎么着，你可以直接就利用我们这个等离子体场，直接就可以得到你需要的，因为我们的身体就是一个。就说是个干丝等离子体的状态，基本上就是这样。然后他说，这个纳米涂层的话，你可以有这个纳米的东西，你可以有铜的、铝的，然后就是说，或者锌的这些不同的材料。那么不同的材料呢，那么它这个等离子体的这个场呢就不同。那么你可以组合的话，你就会组合出不同的东西，然后你就可以直接吸收这个场。大概就是这个意思。所以说呢，我们的这个能量盒子的话呢，你直接出来的话，你就说你不要用电线连出来，直接就是纳米线，那么你就可以制造出各种的场。 那朱涛教授给翻译一下吧，再补充一下。
大致就是这样一个意思。就是提到就是说这个，因为对于他的教学来讲，它是逐步进行的。那么在大家就说前面讲这些东西的话，虽然说它就生成了一些新的物质，比如说一些纳米涂层这些东西，对吧？但是它最终的话是为了就是抛开这些物质，就单纯利用这种等离子场来创造万物。这就是刚才Lisa 也提到过，就是这个能量盒子与其他几个盒子的连接，它是不通过线来连接的，是直接通过这个等离子场来连接来影响的。而且通过这样一些过程的话，我们可以在水里面创造出我们所需要的，比如说所有的食物，它从环境中可以吸收这种养料，包括氨基酸呐、油脂这些东西，然后甚至人只要在里面泡一下，你迅速就吸收了所有的东西，你都不需要吃饭的。而且它也可以产生我们所需要的一系列东西。刚才讲了，他举例子，比如说阿司匹林，那就是比如说药物啊，还有一些那个还有一些其他一些东西，一些物质、一些元素都可以。对 ，OK。All right.
Translate this section immediately for your people in your chat rooms. This knowledge should be shared at the beginning of a space technology which you could never dream of. Food,
刚才看，
energy, unlimited.
刚才看。
Version has already been done.
刚刚开始先生说，需要把刚才那一段好好的翻译出来，那么让大家知道这一点。那么这是我们太空时代的开始，这些东西都很重要。我们可以获得无限制的能源、食物等等这些东西。那么俄罗斯人目前已经实现了这一点。
If you look, you're not doing anything different than what they did in the gas reactors. We fed in the gas. In the GaNs material, you put the GaNs in. Now, for the first time, you learn how to put the plasma in. This is the way the universe works. For the first time, in reality, in totality, man becomes totally independent of any matter state. But you start with the matter to dissolve it, to go to the next step. Do you want to translate?
Lisa? OK. 你讲啊。我大致就是说，那么就实际上就是说，在现在这样一个时代，跟以往不一样，就是说你需要产生什么，对吧？你就比如说，你可以把你的干丝反应器放入干丝，然后在你的你所需要的这个反应器中放入这个一些等离子态的一些等离子体，然后产生你所需要的任何东西。后面还有什么
？Direction to the same thing. Now that you have different gases of different strength in plasma coming in.
这时候，如果你画的是4条线，代表着4种不同的强度的干丝，就是说或者说等离子场，就是说等离子场，对，就是磁引力场。
This be your power supply. Now, if you remember in 20 in Loom, I opened one of my cups for you, the way I use the cups for processing diseases. If you understood the way I showed how I use a cup and magnets to create a condition of the plasma for each disease, now all you need to do is to understand that and connect each line sorry. Each line accordingly. Now you have the secret of life. You can drink the water, create the condition for the strength of what you need. MS, 10 seconds. Cancer, instantaneous. Because now you control, you understand the cancer, but the beauty with what you brought out from here as a plasma, it has both gravitational and magnetical, and it has both physical and emotional because the way you build the system. When you drink, you reach the totality, physical and emotional.
刚才开始，好，你讲。
说这个呢，就说是就说大家记得就是他说是这个有4种干丝嘛，有不同的强度。然后说记得我在录幕的时候给大家展示过一个这个杯子，就是这个治疗杯。那么这个治疗杯呢，我用这个不同的磁铁在不同的位置来制造出这个人体的这个就是说治疗疾病的这个不同的等离子体场。那么呢，我现在可以用直接这盒子呢，我就直接就是说在这个不同位置直接输入这个等离子体。那么这个水杯呢，你就可以就说达到这个效果，就是说可以在10秒钟就可以治疗你的癌症。他说因为呢你在制造这个能量单元的时候呢同时你有全谱，同时具有这个身体，同时又有情感，所以你这个整个输入到这个杯子里边呢，你也是有全部的。你再补充一下吧。
你说的很对，就是这个意思。
Okay, Mr. Cash.
Now, you understood this, you made your coils and you GaNs coated them. Now, GaNs coat your material with different layers. And then now you see what you have. But you were hoping to drink the cup, make a room, and put yourself in it. Create an environment, psychologically balanced, emotionally balanced, physically balanced. You take what you need, you walk in with a cancer, you walk out without cancer. You walk in with MS, you walk out without MS. This is one of the reasons I stop most of the trials, till I bring you to the point you understand this. Because, yes, if you want to die, you decide to die. The system gives you everything. If you want to have a MS, you won't have MS, but if you want to pretend to have MS, you won't have MS.
刚才
You treat diseases in the space as we were talking in the teaching this morning. In the space, there is no microbes. There is no infection. There's viruses. And this is the only way, by creating these environments, you can transfer the energy of the virus, which is a plasmatic condition, out of yourself or move it down. That you walk in, instantaneously, you clean yourself.
开始先生刚才讲的是在一个相当于是治疗性的在一个治疗舱的概念。那么刚才这4条就是这个纳米这个线的基础上
我说吧，他刚
对
才说把这个能量的干源呢，可以就说里边放就说干丝的这个不同的干丝，然后呢这个呢他说你可以有不同的干丝涂层过去，过去以后呢他说你现在呢你就不是说把这个里边放水喝了，你就直接人就可以到这里边来，这样呢你人带着什么疾病呢，就说可以完全立刻就可以清除。因为同时呢，这个是不光心理上、情感上、身体上，你想要什么样子，你就可以实现得到。你如果想自杀，你也可以立刻就可以。他说，比如你想要 ALS，你也能得。反正就说，基本上就说你自己的真的，就说你是希望得到的什么条件，应该能够从这个舱里，你可以立刻达到。就是这个意思。
You were drinking gases to get energy. Now this is the appropriate to do it. You take in the plasma environment. Because when you do it like this is available everywhere. But your body takes what it needs from this. Your body takes from this what it needs. In this direction. I can change undo. Another undo. There. From this plasma, it takes what it needs. From this plasma, if it needs this here, it'll take from here. If it needs in the brain, it takes from the brain. Because it's available for all the cells. If you need zinc here, if you call this zinc, then when it comes to zinc, the zinc is needed by your brain. It only is taken by the nervous system and emotion. Because this is literally available in the whole environment of this. You take what you need. Don't forget the balance of the energy system. You only take what you need. You have the same with this guy. It's still again, it's in the totality of the environment. Every single one of them is that. So you satisfy the energy need in all directions. You literally sink into a soup of a plasma and you take from it what you need. No, is Earth a closed chamber? Universe is an open chamber.
OK，开始刚才说这个呢，实际上是这样，因为你这个场是整个充满这个空间的，那么你身体不管你是什么部分需要，比如说这个心，还有其他的东西，举个例子，那么你哪里需要呢，你就会从哪里得到，你就会在哪里得到，就是说，是整个全身体都会，就说得到的。同时呢，就说你只是会你只会取你所需要的东西，就是说你需要什么，你才会就是说要什么，而且这是说你整个都是尽在这里边的。朱涛。
差不多就这个意思，整体上就这个意思。
Okay. Now, what you can do to extend it, you can coat your plates all in the composition of the GANs, that when you do it as one line, everything is there. The way you've seen it with Alex, putting orange, what do you call it, his alcoholic drink and everything else on it. But this might not be needed by everyone. But if you can make as it is, instead of putting the magnets, individual units, as I put magnets as individual units, now you have the same process. You make miniature system in the environment. You decide which one to come on. You don't want most of the zinc in the leg side, because most of the zinc is used in the brain. So you place your zinc on the head end. You dictate where it goes, how it goes. And if you understand this, I always discourage you from touching the GANs, eating the GANs, but I encourage you to try the plasma. You'll find the essence of the creation in the universe because it's totally on a balanced condition and you take what you need. Your body doesn't need it, doesn't take it. If it hasn't got that strength balance, it doesn't need it, it doesn't touch
OK，
it.
他说这个你在这个你就说把你这个线做这个放干丝的时候，那你可以自己就是说选择这个组合，就是说把东西放里边。他说他说像 Alex 用的可以放什么酒啊，这个那个的。他说你呢可以就是说也是可以自己选择，而且这个呢最大好处说是什么呢？因为它是整个人体还有这个是个平衡的，那么你只会取你需要的东西，你不需要的东西你也不会得到的。然后还有他就说了一下心，他说你这个心的话，你头上需要，你脚不需要，那么头就会来吸收。基本上就这意思。
If you want to see how it works better, for example, put a plant inside and see how you can control the growth of the plant. Because you give to it what it needs in plasmatic condition. You can even, if you perfect the art, you can grow plants what it takes 100 years in one day on the system. Now the control is in the hand. This is the part of the technology which you need if you're going to space. We are a spaceship program. We are not a power producing unit, but as part of it we do because we got to teach 7 billion. But those who sit on the elite, sit on the teaching, understand this is where we're going and this is what you need. You got to move away from the matter. Now you live, you understand the structure of the words of the universe. Somebody called me, I'm a Satan. I am comes from what is Saturn, and what the Saturn means is knowledge. I own knowledge of the universe. It's the stupidity of those who don't understand it. If you understand it, I teach you everything you need to know.
OK，开始刚才说你如果想做实验的话，你可以把一个植物放里边，你就可以看到，也许这植物花100年或者多少年来长大，可以立刻就能够长那么大。然后说我们现在要离开这个物质的这个层面来这个问题，因为这部分等离子体这部分呢，是我们要想进入宇宙必须要掌握的这个是然后开始后来又提到，他说他是有人说他是 Satan， 然后说他是就是说是他具有这个知识，然后来朱涛说吧。
他实际上是说，实际上认为这些人因为他说这些人因为他的愚蠢，他无法理解他，然后把他当做一个负面的人物或者不是那个东西。那么这样的话就是说，实际上当人类真正能够理解这样一个东西，他们会发现他们完全可以不依赖这样一个物质进入一个全新的这样一个时代。
Let me explain where we go from now on in the teaching. From now on in the teaching, we go in one direction, which is a plasma, and a plasma which controls the emotion, and then through emotion, it controls the physicality. And if you understand this part, then you understand how, by now that we have managed to break into the plasma world, do you need anything at all in the matter state? Would you like any water? Or can we build structures across nations, across buildings, that when you're in the building, you take all the water you need because you take the field of the water as you need it, you convert it. This is what your stomach does. No water crosses your intestine into your lymph. It converts the energy that the lymph can carry and use it as the liquid, what you call water. Do we need to go for a lunch break, or the lunch break is 24 hours a day? You can eat what you need because you're completely supplied. This is what happens in the solar system in every part of the universe. Is man who's got too much attached to physicality. Now you have the freedom.
说我们需要大家知道，就是我们要进入到一个完全新的这个教学。这个时间我们要知道如何用这个等离子体来控制来控制这个情感，然后用情感来控制这个身体。又说到说我们是不是就说我们真的需要水？就说我们是不是就可以在一个就是说一个建筑物里边，只要你进入这个建筑物，那么你直接就可以得到你这个水的这个能量，你就不需要这个实际的水了。那么就说你得到这水呢，而且我们也可以就是说还是不是需要吃饭？这些个呢，就是说，你假如是得到这些能量的话，那么这些个物质呢，你是不是还真正的需要说我们人类呢是一直以来是就被这个等于是限制attached 的，它就是说是依赖于这个物质来得到能量的，那么我们这个就说是应该是从现在开始应该需要改变。朱涛，你再补充一下。
比如说他举例子说，实际上我们通过胃吸收的是水，实际上不是水本身，而是水的那种场。然后他说还通过淋巴管这边的提供的，实际上是提供能量的这个利用那个等离子场提供能量这个概念。对。All right.
Mr. Cash.
Yes.
Continue.
Okay. Are there any questions?
有什么问题吗？
Yes, there are some questions in the chat here. Some are not associated, perhaps. We should stick with questions.
What is connected to this?
Right. Okay, well, James mentions what happens with 4 discrete identical nano-coated coil sets with each a different wire material, and we immerse ourselves in the plasmatic field of the unit. Do we achieve the same as the room with magnets, and can we control with our intent?
Why do you need magnets? Now you have a plasma and you can control the flow of the plasma.
Right.
Now, the reason I opened this in a way was because of that Chinese, what do you call it, robots, all coils with 11 parts. Now you see where the 11 parts come in and how you can absorb it, how your body works. So you are the coil. And if one magnet can interact one plasma with the other, and your body is a continuous gravitational magnetic field force itself, which just goes continuously around, now you can interact with any of them in any shape or form you like.
And there's another question. Where do the 4...
You want Lisa to translate, please?
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah. 刚才那个问题我没看清楚没听。然后后来呢，开始说，为什么我今天讲这些呢？就是因为我们这个中国教学给了我们一个这个，就是说跟智能机器人似的这个图，所以呢，就说身体有11个这个部分，然后所以呢，我就开始讲了今天的这些个人体的这个东西。然后说我们人呢，就是实际上是一个等离子体，然后他就在这个图上画了一下这等离子体磁场，从周围会吸收这个等离子体的能量。刚才那个问题是什么？朱涛给翻译一下，我都没听清。
对不起，我也没大听清楚，因为涉及技术细节比较多，因为我对技术细节还是有点不大熟悉。对。
Mr. Keshe, there's a question about where do the 4 wires, the physical, emotional, gravitational, and magnetic, where do they originate from with the MagGrav power unit? Where do they?
We have explained this before. You have 2 coils in the center and 2 coils outside. The 2 coils in the center are your emotional, one you receive, what you give. The outside coils are your physical, what you receive, what you give. If your intention is to satisfy the emotion, you can increase the power from the center core, but on the magnetical part. If your intention to get attention or to receive because of what could be lacking, for the shortage, you use the gravitational side of the what they call the system, because then you already been there. It's just that you don't see the process, the structure.
刚才那个问题问的是说，就说这条4个线是从你哪里来的？开始回答说，实际上就是我们的那个线圈嘛。他说，4个这个就说这个线圈有这个引力场和磁力场。然后他说看你这个引力场是代表你的身体，磁力场是代表你的情感，那么从那里引出来的。
他说的是内圈的代表这情感，外圈的代表就是说物质身体。那么它无论是内圈和外圈都具有吸收和释放这种能力。
You got to okay. Do you want to ask the question, please? Rick?
Sorry, which part?
You asked me a question and we went to the translation.
Okay. Let's see, get back here. Sorry. Do you mean the question about where do the 4 wires originate from the MagGrav unit, or?
I already answered that.
Right, that's where I was at the last point here. There is another question that's perhaps interesting. iMac24 asks, what if what we need from the plasma is not what we desire? The balance that is inherent in everything might not always be what we want. To what extent and how accurately can we control the plasma? Do we need to adjust our way of thinking or being to be more effective in our plasma manipulation? Or will this be a natural progression or outcome of working with plasma?
Both ways. The point is you take what you need at the time you need, when you need it, and we will learn how to control what we need, because we realize sometimes it's just through the process of physicality that we don't need to adjust the system for the physical part of the body, because through the emotion we control the physical part. People who start building these new systems as a matter of food and energy and medicine soon will understand one thing. You build what you like, what it takes, what it likes. Doesn't mean what you build is what is needed. It's what is created the condition for the emotional part to be in condition of acceptance, which allows the physicality to follow. Physicality cannot absorb anything if emotion is not dictated. That's why you have emotion in every single cell of your body, because it's the emotion which controls the physicality. So in so many ways, if you concentrate on the emotional side of the structure of the plasma, you will always receive the exact what you need.
刚才这个问题是说，就说这个说如果我们这个得到的不是我们所希望得到的，那么是怎么个情况呢？就是说或者这个平衡呢，是说它 和我们就说也许不是我们总要的，而且就是说是我们怎么样能更精确地控制这等离子体呢？是我们要调节我们这个思维方式，使得我们能够控制等离子体更有效，还是说是一个自然的过程，它就说等离子体它自动就会就说达到这个平衡。然后呢，开始回答说，实际上呢，我们是应该我们要就说一直如果做这个系统的话，如果想生产药物或者食物，我们就会逐步就会知道呢，是如何来控制我们的需要。开始的意思就是说，一直是这样，我们的情感是可来控制我们的这个物体身体的。你在造这个系统和在从这个系统来吸收你所需要的东西的时候，实际上是你想要什么，实际上是你的情感部分来决定的。就是说你更喜欢什么，你更要什么，然后呢，所以你建立这个东西，然后你从这里面会想要什么，吸收什么，实际上是情感起主导作用。朱涛，你再翻译一下吧。
这个问题实际上是一种表明了这个提问者的一种担心，就是如果人作为人本身和这个机器本身如果形成一些不同步不和谐的情况，会怎么办呢？实际上开始先生的他的主要观点就是说，实际上你不用太担心这个事情，那么实际上最终是你自己的情感决定你要什么东西，你能得到什么东西，而不是说你被提供什么东西你就必须要得到这些东西。所以中心意思是这个意思，所以就说大家不用担心这个东西。那么最终说到底，就是虽然有这些外在这些东西在外在，但是你居于中心，那么你自己的情感决定了你最终要达到怎样的状态，你最终真正吸收到怎样的东西。OK。
Any other question?
We do have a question from Shripad from India. Can we apply this technology to control the mosquito population or menace?
Of course, depends what you want to give the mosquito. Feed him with a plasma, he won't eat you.
Would it get bigger? And think about you later?
That's the thing. Because it only takes to satisfy the size of a bird, a mosquito.
Well,
The same. Put them in the jungles with the tigers, and let's see if they will eat anybody. They'll walk around. They'll be happy forever walking.
maybe they'll start singing.
Huh?
Maybe they'll start singing like birds
I don't know.
instead of buzzing.
I told you a few weeks ago, I'll show you how this technology, no fish will eat the fish and no animal will kill another animal. Now you see the beginning of it. If enough units are produced and used across this planet, we change the course of the humanity in no time.
刚才提到一个问题是印度的一个爱好者提了一个问题，就是说能否用这样一套体系去控制蚊子，控制这个疟疾。那么他说当然可以了，这绝对没有问题的。你然后他开句玩笑说你是让蚊子吃这个干丝吗？让它变得很大吗？开玩笑。然后后来接着说，他说如果你把那个干丝再喂给森林里的老虎，他又在开玩笑，他说是否老虎会开始唱歌呢？对，后面进一步讲到就是说，当我们把这样一个，就是说这样一个体系引入到世界中之后，
我翻译吧，是这样，他就说，这个东西呢，你影响，如果这个厂的话，你用这等离子体直接这个喂养，就是说喂养这个动物，那么这个动物就互相就不会吃了，然后他就刚才就是说蚊子唱歌，说是不是，就说它吃了这等离子体会唱歌，或者长得像鸟一样大呀，或者怎么着，然后开始说它会小不会大，然后后来又说到说我们这个系统的话，如果制造的很多在这我们全世界的话呢，分布，那么直接就会影响我们人类整个的人类，那么就说我们人类会就说会立刻就改变。 就说基本上不花时间都可以改变，就说因为这个能量可以直接我们可以吸收这个等离子体的能量。
是这样的。
Any other question?
还有其他问题吗？
One question Frank Cabana asks, is the KFSSI in Barletta fully nano-coated, or has the nano-coating just started last week as in our houses?
What do you mean by that?
I think he means, is it fully, is your electrical system fully nano-coated?
No, not yet. It won't be down for a few months. The building is too big.
刚才一个问题是 Frank 问的 Frank 哈班纳说是不是那个就是说太空学院的那个都整个的那个都被纳米涂层了呢，还是说这纳米涂层上一周才开始？然后开始说还没有呢，这要花几个月的时间才能都能够这个纳米涂层。
There's a couple of questions I've been asked to ask, which is about health issues. One is in the chat, a male suffering from Farr disease, which is a basal ganglia calcification. Is there a relevant study about this disease? Do you know the cause or how it can be treated?
I know nothing about this.
Okay, we would have to look into that and so on. Someone else asked for someone that has HIV and they had it at birth, and wondering if there anything can be done for to help them.
Yes, get in touch with me.
Okay. So that's like HIV/AIDS, it's called sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to volunteer, if it's you who's written the question, if it's somebody you know, no. But if it's you who's written the question, yes, get in touch with me.
Okay.
刚才这个问题是，就说一个人问了一个疾病，开始说不太知道那个疾病怎么样。后来另外一个人问说，那么 HIV 的话，就是艾滋病能不能可以治疗？开始说可以，他说你跟我们联系吧。然后开始说，如果是你自己的话，然后那你就立刻跟我们联系。如果是你知道什么人，那就。好像就说是有这个问题，那就算了。说如果你是亲自问的，那你就跟我们联系。
But can you go on the Wikipedia, Rick, and come up with the HIV to tell us what it is?
然后开始让瑞克到这个维基百科上说把那个 HIV 的病给，就说是怎么说的。
Or is it a microbe? I know what.
It's Cash. I get a few questions from a chat thread here. Can you hear me? So the first question.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We haven't finished on the HIV/AIDS here. Sorry. We can just finish. I've got that on the screen here, so we might as well complete it. It says it's a spectrum of conditions. It's called immunodeficiency virus infections, caused by infection of the human immunodeficiency virus. Let me see. What does it say about the actual? You want to know about the actual, what it is or looks like, I guess, is what you're saying, right, Mr. Keshe? The virology, is that?
A microbe or virus?
Okay, yeah. It's what's called a retrovirus. Affects the immune system. It directly and indirectly destroys the CD4 plus T cells. It's a member of the genus Lentivirus, part of the family Retroviridae. They share certain biological characteristics. They're transmitted by single-stranded positive sense enveloped RNA viruses. Upon entry into the, pardon me?
It's energy based. It's plasmatic energy based.
Yes. Well, upon entry into the target cell, the viral RNA genome is converted into double-stranded DNA by a virally encoded.
Let's try something. If you got HIV, if you got AIDS, we know it's a virus. Can we get the screen back? I advise you to do something very interesting. Let us know. I hope I'm right, but maybe I'm 100% right, maybe I'm wrong. Make yourself a CO2 kit. Nano coat. The CO2 with the copper plate. Create for yourself a gas of CO2. Go through the process of putting the CO2 on the tissue paper, put it in a bag which doesn't touch you, and wrap your body in it. As many places as you can. If you can total roll of 1 meter and you can get a plastic container, it's what we thought this morning. Viruses are energy based. So we should see change in AIDS within days. This technology is made for AIDS. This technology, plasma technology, is to eradicate disease, what we call viruses. If HIV is a disease, it's a virus, it costs you less than 10 cents to cure yourself, to reverse the process. You create a plasma which, if HIV is a plasma, a virus, connected itself to its whatever amino acid cell, you got your answer. Build a tube, film of CO2 in a toilet roll, very easy. Once you made your CO2, if you're not familiar with, get a toilet roll, open it up. Whatever you made as a GANS, put it on a toilet roll, put yourself in a, put it all in a plastic bag, which you can take it, that it doesn't leak, doesn't touch your body at all, and sleep on it. 3-4 hours a day. Do it for a week. Come back next Thursday and get your blood tested to see if there is any difference in your count. And still, if you have a problem, you can enforce it. Go on the Keshe Foundation, get yourself a pad. It's most probably the way we work at the moment. It'll be there in 6 weeks' time instead of tomorrow. Put a pad in the background, on the back of it, and then you can enforce it more. This technology, special technology, is made for viruses. And it's immediate reaction. You will see it. But one thing, please do not drink CO2 gas. And please don't drink water of the CO2 gas.
，May I translate？
Yes, please.
刚才刚才提了个问题，主要是有关于一个艾滋病的患者如何去治疗这些艾滋病。刚才 通百科全书上面就大致解释一下它的病因，我就不讲了。那么凯子先生讲说，这事实上我们这一套这个等离子体技术就是在很大程度上就是专门用于杀病毒的，清除病毒的。你可以从网上买这一个产生二氧化碳干丝这一个 kit， 对吧？那么就是说这一个试剂盒，然后你自己可以产生大量的二氧化碳干丝。那么产生的方法大家都知道。那么事实上来讲，我们知道病毒本身这中间这个紫色的代表病毒本身的等离子场。那么它实际上可以，如果为我们这个粉红色的二氧化碳干丝所就是环绕的话，它可以很容易的就被中和掉。就是说它的这个等离子场很容易被中和掉，那病毒自然而然就被清除掉了。那么具体怎么做呢？首先你得产生大量的二氧化碳干丝，然后呢把它铺平在放在一个那个相当于是比如说塑料薄膜或者塑料袋子里面，把它放到床上。
不是这样的说你去拿一个那个厕所纸，一卷厕所纸，然后你给它展开。然后呢，你把这个干丝呢放在这上边，然后呢，你再拿一个塑料袋呢，你把这个纸呢就装在塑料袋里封起来，这样它就不会流不会什么的。说你不要接触这个二氧化碳干丝，也不要喝。他说你这样呢，你就把这个塑料袋呢，你就铺在你的床上，你就一天睡它3、4个小时，然后你睡几天，然后你去验你的血。如果这个不管用的话，那么你再把你的我们的那个 pad 再放在底下，然后你再接着再使用，然后看你这个效果。他说我们这应该是不用花好像几分钱就可以，就是说能够治好你的病的，应该是。
You can use or add very, very small amount of copper oxide GaNs to this as well. Very, very, but you got to mix it in the GaNs of CO2 before you use it. Very small, just a few drops.
然后说你可以加一丁丁点儿的氧化铜干丝，他说你一定要特别特别少，就是可能就是说只几滴，然后你要把它混合好，就是说跟那个二氧化碳干丝混合好，然后再放到这个纸里面再用。
Let us know if you are HIV, if you know anybody with HIV, it costs less than 10 cents to save a life.
然后说如果你 OK。
Medicine for past 30 years.
如果你知道什么人有癌症，或者你自己有不是癌症，你自己有这个 HIV 或者艾滋病，那么或者你自己有，或者你知道什么人有，那你可以试一下，然后让我们知道这个结果，这样也许可以治好多病人。
One of you went and took part of my teaching when I explained about the earthquake in America, and it's been watched by millions. It's been in one channel, been watched over 2/3 of a million. One guy, just 7 minutes. Take what I thought now about AIDS and separate it and put it on the internet on the AIDS. Let people try it worldwide, because it can change the life of every man who suffers from this disease. Put it out on the internet. Possible solution for AIDS. Teach them how to do it. Take a link, give them a link to where Armand shows how to make the GaNs of CO2, that they can do it themselves, and then put the addition where we show in one of the teachings with Renan how to make the total roll with a GaNs in it and bag it, and they can save a man's life for less than 10 cents. You don't need copper plate, any copper wire you have in the house, just cut it, put it in a caustic, and you can save your life or anyone you love from AIDS. We know this is possible. I know this can be done if it's done the right way. And don't ask me how I know, because it's a virus, and a virus is plasma link energy to a bacteria. And this morning we were teaching about this, and now the question comes, so you have to answer. Please put it in public and let people try. No harm done. They don't need to drink it. They just need to be in an environment of the closed environment. We done such a test in Canada, and we've seen the result, but in a much stronger way.
刚才开始先生极力鼓励大家将刚才教授这一整套治疗艾滋病的这样一个体系放到网上，让鼓励大家尽量去试，因为这个体系是可以迅速的发挥效果，而且是花费很低的，可以拯救许多人的生命。那么这样一个实验，实际上在之前的加拿大也已经做过，发挥了很好的效果。
So please touch it and put it a possible solution and link it to the Keshe Foundation website that people can see what is.
然后说把这个，就说这个解决方案呢，就是说，放到网上，然后把这个连到这个基金会的网站，包括这个如何制造这个二氧化碳干丝和这些一系列方法都告诉大家，让大家就是说广泛的知道，然后进行试验，看看有什么效果。说就是就像我刚才的翻译是说，就像我当初我说关于加州地震的话，那么有好像2/3米林呐，就是说几十万人来观看这个视频
，670万，
可能
67万，67万。
可以就是说拯救可能好多人的生命，所以这个呢也是希望大家把这个方法呢就是说放到网上，这样很多人看，也许就是说也会拯救很多人的生命。
One thing which you got to do more than anything else, try to wrap around your femur, around your leg. This will give you the support increase in your what you call bone marrow. That increases your strength in your blood cells, that it can become more energetic in increasing changing. So you don't cover your upper body, you cover your femurs whenever you get a chance, because this way you increase your the immune system of your bone marrow. So one way you disarm it, one way you strengthen the body to create a higher energy order that it can take the residual energies out of the body in a direct way.
开始建议说呢，让您把这个东西呢，尽量绑在你的腿上，不要绑在你的身体上部器官。
放在尤其小腿。
对。
然后这样的话，增加你的骨髓的能量，增加你的骨髓的这个免疫的能力
和免疫系统。
对免疫系统对。
Go on the websites, wherever you see societies, groups, just say, the guy who's a Satan says, there is a solution for AIDS, and try it. If you're wrong, nothing is lost. But we know we are pretty sure right. Try it, you will see the change of the course.
他告诉大家继续试，试不会有坏事，了不起是没有效果，不用担心有什么坏的效果，你只要去试，你就会得到很好的效果。
The good things you have Satan, not the devil. At least that's one good thing about it. And the ones who call the man Satan, they are the devil themselves. That's how they can cover their backside. Okay, any other question?
May I get 2 questions for you?
Strange enough, they call me Antichrist, but the Christian church is working more with us than ever before. That's why we're anti. Very interesting. We've got to tell that when we meet with Vatican next time. A man who hasn't got a belief in God calls the others Antichrist. Carry on.
Mr. Keshe?
Yes.
So my Chinese friend asked me to brought you these questions. So the first question, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So if the energy units was made in by 3 layers, so how many of those gas containers should be put in? Should be one gas container for each layer, or just one in overall?
What are you talking about now?
Sorry. So
The ball in the middle, you mean?
yeah, exactly.
You can do whatever you like. Ours is a good mixture.
Okay, and any
One ball, each stack has got one ball of its own. Each stack of the, if you look, each tray has a cavity for one ball. So you put one ball in each tray.
I see. OK， so 刚才问的这个问题就是说，有爱好者问，就是说就是这个凯使能量装置它是3层，那么到底是应该放几个干丝容器？刚才凯使说的，在每一层里都可以放一个干丝容器，都应该放一个，
每一层放一个球。
放一个球 ，OK。第二个the second question is what is the functionality of the capacitor in the system?
The function of capacitor is to stop the rapid charges and when there is a shortage of charge. That's why you use it.
Okay.
There
Okay.
is something I have to explain to you. In the new system of the power units, what we've done, they have the you have the it shows it's the end of the day. You have the 3 layers, and in the what do you call it? In the blueprint, we have put 3 capacitors here, and when it comes from the main, 4 capacitors here, that it goes to your bottom line, and then where is it? Maybe stick here. So your capacitor which goes out. No, what am I doing? Stop. This is your entrance, and that's your exit. And this capacitor sits in parallel with the plate. In the new power systems, what we've done, which is getting done in the factory, is we have taken this capacitor set out of the circulation. So now we go directly out to the supply. Because when you use the systems as a cascading unit, then you create a problem. Because as a cascading unit, you have a capacitor, and then another unit as a cascade with another capacitor here, and like a 4 capacitor set causes a lot of problem for the system. We have seen it in the test here. The test units we are running, we're seeing what the problems is and how we can create more efficient system. So because in the average house, you have to go into a multiple setting to create 5 or 6 kilowatts. You don't want the second capacitor set, and it gives you more or less the same power because your capacitor set sits in your next supply unit outside. And this is the way we see it, and we see more efficiency. It creates a lot of less problem for the stacking unit. So the new systems, we have taken a stacking unit. We're going to run a test in the next couple of days to see if we are correct. It allows the efficiency. It's because then you store on both ends and your system is in the middle. Your load is in the middle. Then you don't get supplied directly. Because we have a double, what we call cascade system here on the table. And I'm watching everything which is happening, and every piece of information gives us an insight into the system. So capacitor is for smoothing and storing for any variation of input and output. But now we are looking as a cascading system. And a cascading system, you already have a power unit outside. We've taken this out to make it easier, because if some of you I'm going to teach with you this on Thursday. Most of the things we talk today, we put in the public teaching. It's very important. A lot of you are making a lot of mistake with this nanomaterial coating. Some of you are reporting you're getting no results. It's a hoax, they say. It's your own stupidity. You haven't understood what you're doing. Correct yourself, you get it right. You don't do it, you get it wrong. The way to get it right, yes, because when they don't get it right, they don't know what they're doing. First of all of you made all these coils and the rings. Go back to one of the first teachings we did. First of all, you wind the coil anti-clockwise. Then, when you put it in, when you nano-coated it, none of you, or most of you, forgotten what I said from day one in nano-coating. When you made your coil, you put a voltmeter, blackened here, reddened here. You have made the nanomaterials on your material, but with not putting the voltmeter, your polarity is all over the place. You have to align it. When you don't align it, and then you put it in to do, you have created a chaos in your field. None of you will get the result correct. If you do not put a voltmeter on the both ends in the first coating, we have rejected a batch of material last week. I was yesterday in the factory office. I said, this is a waste of time. Oh, we forgot. I said, blow it. You have to start again. Because if you do not, that little time, milliseconds, you put with the voltmeter, it shows 5 millivolts. That's not important. The important thing is you realign your plasmas in your layers. Then you get superconductor, you get correct conduct. The cross section of the field doesn't come if you put a one clockwise, anti-clockwise instead of each other. Your coating is wrong. Most of you which report we don't get any result, re-nano coat, get rid of your nano coating, re-nano coat, most probably you forgot. Need realignment of the field. And the realignment of field nanomaterial comes through the direction of flow. You dictate, you show it where. Especially those of you who start mass production. If you miss this one, you'll find you have a problem with most of your units. Very little, but very important. Do you want to translate, please?
OK，我先翻译这个最后一段吧，因为这段比较重要啊。就是说我们做这个能量单元的时候，有好多能量单元说不合适、不工作呀，这个那个的。那么就说有一个问题呢，就说我们回到第一天的我们这个蓝图的教学，有一个细节大家可能都给忽略了。首先我们把这个线圈呢是逆时针的，就是说逆时针的绕好以后呢，我们做这个纳米涂层。纳米涂层以后呢，你一定要用电压表去量一下。这样呢，就说这个是一个电压表，使它有一个就是放电过程呢，使得这个纳米涂层这个取向啊能够统一起来，就是 realignment，让这个就说好多这个系统失败都是因为就是没做这一步，所以呢，那你这个涂层整个这个厂就是乱的，所以这个一定要做这一步。今天好像我在我们中国的这个群里边好像还讨论这个问题，是不是要谁还提了一下这个，就说一定要量了一下这个，就说这点也很重要然后刚才说一堆什么呢？我都给忘了呀，刚才说的。刚才的问题，这个问题引出来的问题是，刚才朱教授问一个问题是说，这个电容呢，在这个能量单元里面起什么作用？开始说呢，是因为在短路的时候呢，防止或者这系统有变化的时候，防止会立刻这种放电，就是说，所以它是为了缓和这个系统的。那么后来呢，他说，他们现在的这个系统改装呢，因为一开始的时候呢，我们是有2套这个电容系统，一套是在入来的时候呢，就是进入这个 这个3层的这个弹簧之前呢是有一组电容，然后跟这个弹簧这个有一个并列这个电容，然后开始说到呢，我们这里边呢因为是 cascading， 就说是类似于瀑布式的这种。就说装这个负载，因为你这个完了还插负载，然后还有这个那个的，反正就说要插一串儿的意思吧。就说因为我们要插计算机，你还得插个能量就是电源嘛，你还要插，反正插一堆。他说呢，这样的话呢，就是使这个就是太复杂了。现在呢，他们在试验，就是说把最后的这一组的这个电容呢给去掉，然后呢还在测试，说是不是这样呢就能够更有效一些，就是说不用一级一级的这么下去了，这样就把这个可以给这个环节呢把这个这组电容给去掉。就是这个样子的。然后Mr. Cash。
Yes. When you make your coils, if you made a coil and it's not nano-coated, when you nano-coat it the first time, immediately as you take it out of the caustic as normal, you connect this end to the black end and this end to the red end of your meter. So the whole coil gets inlined. The whole coil, the whole two sets together are fully inlined. Some people put all gravitational magnetical inside the gravitational magnetical. They do all the connections and then nanocoat. You have at the end of the tray an entry and exit. You have to connect it to a power supply. Very little direction of flow that you align the nano layers. Don't forget, nano layers are still in matter state. So with the current flow, they get realigned. If you don't do this, your system doesn't work. Doesn't matter how much time you spend on it. That's why some people are successful, some people are not. This is one of the biggest problems.
这个就是说，当你你不是这个有个线圈吗？这个，然后有这个，就是说你这个里边个线圈，外边是线圈，出来不是有2个头吗？就是你连好的这个线圈，然后你做第1次纳米涂层的时候出来的时候，他说是左边这个你放在这个黑线上，右边这个放在红线上，就是一正一负。他说你一定要做一个这个，就是说测试。就是说这个测试呢，因为你现在我们这个纳米层呢还是物质的状态，所以呢跟电流呢会相互作用，使得它能够使这个能够对齐，就使得这个里边的能够顺过来。说一定要做，说这就是为什么有些人成功，有些人不成功，就是因为差这一步。
Now, the other point with your coils, with your system, is when you put these and you nanocoat them, you put them for the first time, you do the same. The second time, you have to do the same again because the new layers have to be realigned again. If you nanocoat twice, you need to do this because realignment of the fields is the most important thing in the whole process. Did you do it when you made yours, Antonio? Sorry, Andrew, did you do it? You want to translate, please?
说如果你这个就说第1次你涂层从那个碱液里边拿出来，你立刻要做这个就是说这么连接。那么你如果要是再涂层的话，第2遍拿出来，你还需要做一个这样的就是说连接，使得调节这个场，使得这个场能够对齐，能够顺过来。他说你必须要做这个。
You got to remember, even the pin in the center of your capacitor, you have to do it. With the coil of your capacitors, you have to do it. Everything has to be realigned. Everything has to be realigned.
然后说你那个就是在做你的这个电容的时候，你中间的这个就是这个直的这个纳米线，你也要做这个，就是说每次做图层你也要这么量一下，使得能够这个场能够把它们调节起来对齐。那么你的这个还有绕的这个线圈儿，你也要做，就说每次做纳米图层从里面拿出来，你也要做一下。
The other point you got to remember, we advise you and we tell you, you can put a thermal control on the system, but you have to choose a right thermal switch that it does not stop the flow of the plasma. Some thermal systems stop the flow, and what you see, no performance from your system. If you connect your system directly into the, what do you call, a plug, but make sure you have, if you want, a fuse capability. But some of the thermal system used, what they call circuit breakers, create a gap which the plasma cannot jump across. They create a condition specifically made that they cannot, even they have a contact, they create a condition that they create a gap for the plasma flow. And these kind of thermostats we've seen blocking the work of the system. It's better not to have that, it can work. We have not seen overheating of a system up to now anywhere, unless these kind of bits have been added into the system. If you work the system within the boundary of 2 kilowatts, it will do.
一点呢，就说我们原先说过，我们要用这个热电偶的这个断路器，就是 thermostat 就是说，你这个选择这个的时候，一定要选择那种，就说不能有中间，就说这个断路器，然后会产生一个缝隙，这样的话，会阻止我们这个场等离子体的这个就是说传导过去。所以说你这个选择这个热电偶的时候呢，也一定要考虑这一点。
If when you make your stacker, the 3 stacks, and you connect it to a wire and you connect it to your load here, and you connect it to your grid here, and you have already put a 4 capacitor in parallel, and you don't get any change in your power drop, it means your capacitors are not made perfect and are literally short-circuiting. Nothing goes through your coils to be able to reduce the power. If you don't see reduction in your power, it means your capacitors, which are in parallel with a coil, are short-circuiting. And you have to take them out, or you have to test your connection with your capacitors that the current, the flow should be through this way, not through this way. And if it goes through this way, you see no performance, you say there is something wrong with the system. Most of the people who have these kind of failures, now that you start setting up, is these kind of little problems. Your capacitors, what you made it, they're touching. Or they dry, they create a gap condition. So if you have a problem, you don't see reduction in your power, try to take your capacitor off load. And then if you have a problem still with that, or you have this, you don't see any drop, whenever, each time you make your coils, you nano coated, you put a GaNs on, before you connect it, connect an ohm meter at the end and see if you get, means your nano coating is not right, you put your system in and say, oh, it doesn't work. So of course it doesn't work because the nano coating is not complete because you relied on it. There's a short circuit here, you still have again short, there is no power. So you have to take, if we brought this especially into manufacturing, it has to be done. These are the steps we see problems, so we solve it, you see the change.
然后现在是这样，就说另外一个问题，就是说，如果你做了这个能量系统盒子的话，然后你看不到这个有好的这个能量的降低的这个改善的话呢，有可能是你在这个系统这个并联的这个电容有问题，就说那样呢，你可以把这个电容拿下来看看是不是会提高，如果这个电容拿下也还不提高的话，那就有可能你的这个就是这个3层的这个就是这个线圈儿有问题。他说你量一下，看看你电阻，你看量一下，看它是不是有一个这个超过这个指示1。那如果不是的话呢，就有可能是短路了。就是说，前面的也是说，有可能你如果这个电容的话做的不好的话呢，有可能就说是这个电流场不是从你那个这个盒子里边走的，而是从你的电容这块过了，那么就是说你就没有等离子场的产生。其他的再补充一下吗？
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question with this? Otherwise, we call it a day.
I think we should let you go by now, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I will see you tomorrow morning in the teachings. And don't forget on Thursday, we start part of the social structure of the Keshe Foundation in the process of one nation, one planet, one race. So it's very important for you to understand how we're setting it up, that you can follow it up in your all the Keshe Foundations around the world.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a most wonderful day.
Thank you very much indeed. See you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Thank you,
See you.
Mr. Keshe.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the Tuesday, November 24th afternoon teaching with the Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop combined with the Health Teaching Workshop combined with the Spanish Teaching Workshop, which didn't quite happen. And it all worked out good in the end. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you. 刚才瑞克说结束语说感谢大家。刚才是第19次中文教学，同时是和这个健康还有西班牙都结合在一起了。说这种情况不常见，说我们是就是等于把几个教学组在一起。感谢大家的参加。OK, thank you very much. 感谢各位参加。谢谢朱涛教授。
Okay, we'll stop the live stream now and end the meeting.